I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility. Man, shut up, Aaron Paul. Square up. Welcome back. Welcome back to a long form video. So, what is a man?
生物学的に言えば、男性は精子を生成する XY 染色体を持つ女性の異性です。
But I'm not talking about science. I'm talking about in life, you know? What is a man? A real man. When I think of a real man, I think of people like Thomas Sowell, Denzel Washington, Mike Tyson.
Twin, thank you, Dad. Love you. Love you too.
Extra stick! Those three are examples of three strong men. It doesn't mean just physically strong like Mike Tyson, but also like smart. They have a lot of knowledge, you know, intellectually strong. Another way a man can be strong is the way he carries himself, you know. Does he have swag? Does he have moxie to him? When he walks down the street, you're like, this guy that's a man right there, you know. That's what Denzel does. Whenever he's walking, he walks with confidence. He walks with direction. But I feel like young men today have lost a plot when it comes to growing up to be a man. In my eyes, yeah, I look like a man, right? I got the beard and everything, you know. But I feel like the title of man should be earned. A man is many things. A man has responsibility. A man is protected. A man provides. A man takes care of his, you know, of his own. Understanding, a listener. A man's supposed to be like, okay, what do we do? What's the solution? How can I fix this? You know, that's what a man does. And not every dude does all those things I listed, but at least 5 or 4, you know?
How many men have very salty pickles?
It's the next day. It's the next day. So from the last recording, what I didn't mention is the whole idea that there's this expectation to be overly masculine to the point where it's not authentic to your own personality. Because what worked for Unc 30 years ago doesn't work for some people now. I gotta keep up this appearance. I gotta be strong. I gotta hide my emotions. Humans have feelings. Humans have emotions, right? To deny those emotions is stupid, right? If you need to cry, cry. If you're mad, be mad. But don't let that be the only thing about you, you know? But yeah, try not to be too masculine to the point where you lose your sense of self. You want to live this life at your most authentic, but don't alter yourself to the point where you don't even know who you are.
I'm so strong. I'm so freaking strong.
Men should be able to feel. They should be able to be vocal about how they feel, about what they think about a certain thing. Women know a lot of stuff. They're very intuitive. You know, that's part of their role in nature. They're more emotionally connected. They're more understanding when it comes to emotions and feelings. I'm serious. They know when you're lying all the time. It takes a strong man to listen. But imagine your girl comes up to you and she's complaining about something, and your response to that is blocking yourself and creating this metaphorical brick wall you're not really doing a good job at listening, and you're also not doing a good job at being real with your woman, you know? Because at the end of the day, when you're vocal about how you feel about certain stuff, the more respect that you'll get from not only her, but from the other people around you. I feel like men nowadays get chastised for speaking their mind about certain things that are not the norm.
My problem is that I hate, you know?
Men would speak their minds and they're called this, that, and the third. Let them talk their crap, honestly. This, however, is just mad disrespectful. Like, come on, man, she's not that. But it's how you respond to all that BS that really shows the kind of character that you got, the kind of integrity that you got. Another thing I wanted to mention too is the fact that some men think that money is the most important thing. Now, I'm not gonna disagree that money isn't important to some degree, but it's not gonna make you happy. Maybe that's just a poor mentality that I got. But let me let me tell you something. At the end of the day, love makes me feel happy. You know, when I see my siblings around, smiling, playing around, that makes me happy. Some men like to measure their value and happiness with how much money and status they have. And all that really means nothing at the end of the day, because after you die, you're gonna lose it all. A man needs his family, a man needs his circle, you know? And that has its weight in gold, honestly. I mean, yeah, it's cool, you got a Bugatti, you got the Lambo, you got the baby 9000. All that stuff is materialistic. I'd say this advice really goes to anybody, but yeah, try not to compare yourself too much to other dudes, because, you know, you're not other dudes. Everybody is different, because everybody has individuality, you know, autonomy. Like I said before, what works for the next guy is not gonna work for you, and that's okay. It doesn't make you any less man than the guy who's got all that stuff. Just worry about you and yours, okay? Like, imagine spending all your life chasing money and being like, ha, I got all this money. Huh? What you gonna do about ha? You know, there's no, in my eyes, there's no fulfillment in that, really. You know, it would just leave me feeling empty. Now this one's more from my brothers. A lot of people from a lot of the neighborhoods similar to where I came from, they have this idea that being tough and being hood, being gangster, all that is what makes a man. Now I gotta tell you something, that is way far from the truth. If anything, being in a gang is the most childish thing that you can do. Allow yourself to be involved with those kind of people is not what a man does. Yeah, you might think beating up that old man was being tough, but really, you just look like a dweeb. You just assaulted an elderly man. You see, here we come circling back with strong intelligence. If he were a strong, intelligent man, you would have not whooped that old man's ass. Another thing, I don't see you guys dressed to the nines, right? But can you please pick up your damn pants? I'm not trying to see your diapers, bro. I'm not trying to see your ass cheeks. Pick up your damn pants. Present yourself accordingly, you know. Present yourself like, you know, you got some damn sense. A little outfit goes a long way, you know. A lot of respect, you know. A lot of real respect. A lot of admiration, you know. A lot of, like, man, that's the man right there. Yeah, I was really just trying to narrow it down to, like, you know, dudes. What do they call it now? Cisgendered male. You know, I don't like to touch that whole community. I like to leave that community alone, because I am a little confused about it. Because, like, I do get the L, the G, the B, but it's when you hit the T that's when things start to get confusing, and then the Q, it just gets my head hurts when I think about it. But yeah, you know, boys, kids, they're the future. You got Generation Alpha, a whole bunch of kids that are being raised with screens in their faces. I seriously think that's gonna affect their growth. These are not only future men, but future women. You know, I feel like we gotta do better, not just for ourselves, but for the generations that come after us. That's enough of me talking my high horse. You know, let me get out of here, man. You know, I'm sick of talking to you all, bro. Like, you all are sped. Like I know 10 of you that why can't I speak?
So gay.